Hi, this is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to welcome you to my weekly live. You should be hearing me now. I think I'm good. Let me just check. Okay, I think we're good. So I just want to say, hey, sorry I wasn't there last week, but I'm here this week and I have some stuff to share with you. First of all, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you know that I send out a whole list of everything that it has been identified for expiring for this catalog. So please take a look at that. If you don't subscribe to my newsletter, go to StampArtConnection.com and you can subscribe. So I'm going to go over some of the things that are not going to retire, which is actually a shorter list than what is going to retire. And then we're going to build. I'm going to show you, because so many of my customers have ordered this project kit is going to retire, and I wanted to show you how I approach making a gift out of these boxes. So that is going to be our project for tonight. So first of all, let me go ahead and welcome. Please say hi to if you are watching. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your weather is. I'm kind of wearing a nice and fuzzy warm top because it's kind of chilly here, and I got Rocky, and we're keeping kind of warm and cuddly. I don't know what the weather's like where you live, but let us know and say hi. So let's go down to my other camera. So here is the catalog, and this catalog will go until 31 December. Now, I sent out a newsletter that had all the retiring items. One of the retiring items is going to be this kit right here, and this is the one I want to feature because several of my customers have bought this kit. There is a carryover list that came over, and those are the items that I'm going to identify because the rest of the items are basically going to retire. So that is part of the great sale, the year-end sale that's going on. So you can get some really good discounts. So kind of going through the catalog, all of these things are retired. This mini coffee cups, this is not going to be retired. We're going to see this again. So all these products here are going to be retired. So that's something you want to keep in mind as you're going through your catalog and you're trying to build your list for the year-end sale. So we're also going to see these dies again. So if you have this set, keep it because they will stay into the next catalog. And if you want to buy this, now's the time to get this as a bundle because then you'll get 10% off. So don't forget that. This retires. And the bow punch retires over here. So this is another really neat punch. I love my punches that you want to take advantage of because once this retires, you can't get a hold of it. Now, this suite will not retire, or rather, this stamp set and these dies will not retire. However, all of these other products will retire. So if you love this beautiful flocked plush DSP, this beautiful sheer red ribbon, and this Christmas DSP, now is the time to get that because you're not going to get it again. However, you will see this poinsettia and these dies again. So that is a good deal. But if they're in any new catalog, just be aware that they will not be as a bundle. This is the only time you can get them as a bundle. So if you want to get them, now's a chance to get them as a 10% off. More about poinsettias. These will retire. Now, these will retire, and I have to tell you, don't pass by these wonderful dies. These make some really beautiful cards, and I really think that this is kind of a keeper in your stamp set on how you kind of can layer and build these dies. So that is something to keep in mind, that even though this retires, you can get the 10% off for that set. This will finally retire. This DSP is going to retire, and these punches will retire. And these will retire, and they will retire. This whole suite will retire. So this is a good opportunity to take advantage of that. The moose, I think the moose has been around for a couple of years, so that will retire. As will all of these wonderful pieces with the wonders of the season, which will also retire. I'm going through all the pieces. This will not retire. This is your Evergreen Forest embossing folder. That will stay as a carryover item into the next catalog. Now, the Snowflake Splendor. These will be carryover items, but you will not ever, again, be able to get this as a bundle. So again, if you want to get 10% off, you want to get it now. The wonderful Balmy Blue Glimmer Paper retires. The embossing folder, but these beautiful blue adhesive back gems are going to be kept. And more retire. Now, this is not going to retire. This is going to be available, and this is really a neat card display. I had this in my craft room, and I really it's really nice, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. All these items retire and retire, and I'm going to page 49. This suite here, the Love of Leaves. This will not retire. This will be available as a carryover item, but you will not get a chance to buy it as a bundle with a 10% discount. You would have to buy it each separately. So again, that's an item to take advantage of. This entire suite retires except for this beautiful metallic mesh ribbon. That's a carryover item. And see over here, and let's see, I want to make sure all of these retire. This wonderful Celebration Tidings bundle, all these wonderful dies, all of this retires. And this stays. This is the punch for the essential tag punch, but I don't see where the everything essential dies stay. So I think the dies retire, but the punch stays. Excuse me. Oh, this wonderful red velvet paper. If you like those poinsettias, you've got to go ahead and take advantage and pick up a couple of packages of those, because once they're gone, they will retire. The banner Pick a Punch is going to stay around, as will the banner Year. So this stays, but the rest of this all retires. These all retire except for the sequins and everything. And that's basically everything else. These these round tins, here's an opportunity to pick up some savings there, and everything else retires. So that is, in short, I've just given you the products that are going to carry over that you may want to take advantage and purchase now, because you'll be able to get a discount. Otherwise, you have to wait for carryover, and they will not be sold again as a bundle. Okay, so now I want to show you this product here. that some of my customers have bought, and this is the project kit. This retires, and it is to build a Christmas countdown. So what I do is I just take this, I'm going to open it up, and I open this up carefully because what I want to do here is I want to keep this so that I can kind of stick these corners back around my project. Okay, so this is all the pieces that go with that project. I just kind of peel back this paper, kind of take this off like this, and then I have my box. Now, the DSP that I'm going to be using for this is actually coming out of the new catalog, the new mini catalog, and I'm picking this DSP here. This is the DSP, and this is the Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper. And I kind of want to show you the process that I go through. So what I do is I kind of pick the paper that I want. There's tons of paper, but you can see that there are some blues, and there are some Fleur de Flamingo, terracotta tile, and mossy meadow. And then we have some Night of Navy and some blues. I'm going to go more with the pinks. So I've picked these papers here. I've picked these papers here to use for my cardstock. So I'm going to put this aside. I kept one out because I just wanted to show you how I cut it. And I also chose to keep a piece of and I'm just going to show you it here. This is that flocked paper that came in the December mini catalog. I cut some of these, and I took just some cardstock of the Fleur de Flamingo. So what I do is when I pick all my cardstock is I'm going to bring in my cutting board is I just cut a strip. I'm just going to cut a strip here, and it's going to be 2 inches. And each one of these is going to be 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and. What's nice about this cutter is that you can go ahead and we can cut 2 deep on here. So I'm holding 2 pieces of cardstock, and I can cut 2 deep. See, and I've got 2 pieces of cardstock there, and then I can cut another 2 deep. Right there. And there are my pieces. Okay, so now that I have that, I want to show you, I have about 4 pieces from each, for each piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to kind of lay them out here. And I'm just kind of laying them out so you can see what I have, like that. I've got 4 of these. And I have this, and this, and this, and this. This is how I kind of organize myself. I kind of look at what my palette is. And I have one here that I cut like that. And then I have this one. And I think I have, okay, this one's got to go over. This one goes here. And this one goes, and if I'm kind of confused, I always go and I look at the back, because the back will tell me, and there it is. The back will tell me where this goes. Okay, so these are the pieces that I cut out from my cardstock. I also went ahead and I cut some squares that belong to Fleur de Flamingo, which is kind of like the background paper. And I cut out some of this wonderful vellum, this flock DSP that came with the Christmas set, and it's got some really nice kind of scroll work. Then what I did, and I did this in advance here, is that I took my curvy dies, and I'm using this really pretty kind of curvy die, and I just kind of cut a couple of these because I'm looking at trying to add a little bit more interest to my box, and you can kind of see them down here where I cut some of these curvies, and I might cut some more, but I just kind of wanted to lay out how I look at this. I also pull in some ribbon, and I've got this ribbon here, which is in the annual catalog, and this is Mossy Meadow and Terracotta Tile, and that's one of the colors that goes with this set. And then this ribbon goes with the suite that will be part of the mini catalog. So I'm going to pull those aside. And then I look at some embellishments, and I kind of found some of these embellishments from my stash, and then I love these gold embellishments here. So I kind of just go ahead, and this is my palette that I'm going to be working with. Then I take my box, and I'm just going to kind of move everything over here like this, and I bring my box into view. And then what I do is I just start kind of laying things out the way I want to see them. And I kind of go across. And I kind of just lay them out. And I'm going to put, because this is the least amount, I only have like 4 of these. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of lay those out there. And then if I want, I can always lay this on top. Can always lay these on top of it just to kind of mute the color. And then I'm going to finish laying out one of each. And then I'm going to flip them around to make sure, and I'm going to make sure that I have, like here, I have a pretty flower. So I'm going to make sure I have that flower. And I'm looking for kind of like, I want my blue backgrounds there. And I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit. And here's another blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blues. And then I'm going to start turning them over. So I should have, maybe I'm going to put this one down here. I got a yellow I'm going to put there. And I begin using the back of the cardstock. In fact, I can kind of mix it up like that. And I'm kind of looking at back pieces. Let's see what else. This one kind of doesn't go, so I'm going to just stick with keeping the front of that. Keep the front of it. And let's see. I might want to put another, what do we have here? I might want to put, ooh, I like this yellow flower because that yellow flower kind of balances the yellow there. So So that's what I have left. And that's how I've kind of laid out how I want to look at my mosaic. These might be a little bit too close, in which case I might move these around to make sure that they're bigger they're spaced farther apart. I may move this one over here. And I just want to turn this around so that you can see that I want to make sure my flowers are pointing up. All my flowers are pointing up. My blossoms are pointing up. This is a leaf. I'm not really sure I want that. Oh, this is a pretty blossom. So you might want to look at where you have maybe one of the same color and you want to put a big bright blossom there. And I like that and that, but those two look too much alike. So I might want to put one here because I don't want, and the way I can tell that they're the same and these aren't the same is I just kind of want to kind of balance. I've got too many colors here that are the same. So I may want to move this over here like that and kind of balance. So you kind of see how it begins to balance out. The next step is when I take my my edgelets here, I can also kind of do some things like I can lay this out on top of a color like that. I can lay this out on white. Let me see, I can lay that out on white like that. Okay. So I can make some choices. If I do that, then maybe I want to put this one on a pink one. Let me choose a pink one. Oh, I could put it right here, right? Or I could put it over here, and that kind of balances that out. I've got these interesting ones that I cut from the fancy cardstock, so I can put this one over here, or I can do it this way. And you can kind of see how that one comes out. And then if I want, I also have some of the smooth ends that I can always add. I can move this way here, and I can put this on the bottom like that. So there's different options that you can do as you play around with it. So that's kind of how I lay out, and I make sure that I'm satisfied with that, with those pieces, and then I kind of make sure I have at least 1, 2. Let's see, maybe I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2. I want to make sure that I'm kind of balanced here with these pieces. I really kind of like this. So maybe where I have maybe I should put that one there. And let's see. And keep that one there. Okay. So there I've kind of laid them out. What I'd want to do, well, I have 3, and I try to keep things in groups of 3. So now I'm going to think about ribbon. And the way I want to tie my ribbon is I go ahead and I tie a knot, because I'm not really sure I need a bow, but I'm going to pick places where I can put this ribbon, and it's just basically going to go across. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to take each one of my squares, and I have a 1-inch hole punch, and I've drawn a line right here, and let me just make sure you can see it. Let me see. I have a pen here, and let me find my pen. Oops, wrong pen. Oh, let's see. Oh, is this it? Oh, here it is. Okay, here's my Sharpie. What I did is I just kind of marked my my punch, so that when I take a piece of cardstock, like this one, for example, I'm going to cut it right there like that, or I'm going to line up those holes, and then it's going to fit perfectly, and you can see how it's just going to fit. Look, it's going to fit perfectly right there. You see how it fits? And I'm just going to go around now, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut. I'm just going to cut all these all the way around. And kind of line those up. And you can kind of begin to see how this is going to take shape. Now, the reason why I'm looking at the back is because if I change my mind, I want to make sure that if I punch this, that I kind of leave a nice pattern should I decide to turn it around. So that's why in some cases, I'm just kind of turning it around and making sure that I have a very nice pattern. And I kind of like that. See, and I had it like this, but I'm going to turn it this way so that I have my two flowers on the bottom. So this is just a really neat project. In fact, you know, that you can put together for someone that is easy, and then can go on a desk or on a dresser to hold little gizmos. I'm going to do this one this way. And I made one for each one of my nieces. So I don't know who this is going to, but I had an extra one. And I just couldn't allow this to go without. Especially when I saw some orders coming in for these. And I thought, well, this is a great project just to go ahead and have a nice Wednesday live where I'm putting these together. Well, the box I'm using, and here again, here's the one with the flowers. I'm using this for like a jewelry box that's going to go, it's going to go on a dresser. So you can put earrings, or you could put little little necklaces. So it's more or less something that like maybe a teenager could use. That's kind of what I'm looking at, and that's kind of the arrangement that I made, because I've made these for my nieces and my sister and my sister-in-law. You know, if we could just kind of fill them up with some little bracelets, little things like that. I don't know. What else do you think you could use the box for? You could use it in your stamp room, and you could just put little labels on them. I'm going to put this one together, and I'm just going to go ahead and you could keep little embellishments. Now, see, I want to move. When you see there's like too much solid, I like to move those around like that. And then again, I'm going to move that flower. It was like this. I'm going to move it like that so that I kind of grab that piece there. And again, looking at the back to make sure that if I decide to change my mind, that aside. And I'm just going to do one row for the sake of time, because this took me a while to put these together for my nieces, because I kind of fiddle-faddled with. Look how pretty! Isn't that pretty the way those flowers come out? Again, I've got these really pretty flowers. I just want to take advantage of the color here. And take advantage of the So this is what I love about this project. It just kind of begins to come alive as you're working it. I think that's a good idea, Karen, to do another box with fun colors. If I had the time, or I guess with COVID, I probably would have done a countdown to Christmas, but I just really like this idea for the girls. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn this around so you can kind of see that I am going to start taking, for example, I am going to take this piece here. Let's work this one here. I'm going to take this corner piece and I'm going to use some tear tape. Right here. I think this will go nicely. Like that. Should be transparent. Are you guys ready for Christmas? Are you having lots of people over? I'm going to have a quiet Christmas. My son is in training right now, so I won't be able to see him. Okay, so then this is going to line up like that. And there's that piece, and then that is going to go right there like that. And I can go ahead and grab my glue. And all I do is I just kind of glue that right there. And I have that drawer done. Now this one, I'm going to grab some, I can begin to kind of look at my colors for my ribbons. So here are my ribbons. I can put this color and I have this color. So I think what I'm going to do is for this one here, I'm going to use this ribbon. Now, because this is kind of very fussy paper, I'm not going to do fussy bows. I'm going to do things like knots. You see that? I'm going to do things like knots. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this like this. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use my tear tape. And let me just pull in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to grab my tear tape. I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put my tear tape right there. Okay, and then I'm going to pull up my tear tape. And I'm going to put my knotted ribbon, and I'm going to put it right there like that. And I'm just going to curl that around. Okay, and there is the front. Then I'm going to make sure that this doesn't stick out. My ribbon doesn't stick out too much into the middle of my back piece, because what you want to do is you want to grab your all-purpose glue, and you want to make sure you have plenty of all-purpose glue here in the middle and around that edge. And then sometimes I just take this out and I just lay that right there. See how pretty that is? So there's one of our boxes. Now this one, I may just make plain. So I just may go ahead and glue this. Or let's see, what else could I do? I wonder if this would go. I'm not sure that really goes. I think I would rather do it. I'm not sure that really, but you know what I could do is I could take something like this. Now that would be pretty against the yellow. So what I did here is I tied a knot, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of cut this, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I think I only have 2 yellows. I got 2 yellows on my mosaic. And we're just going to go ahead and we're doing the same thing here, pulling this off. Hey, Ma Foster, how are you? Where are you from? Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, is my knotted bow, okay? And that's about as fancy as it's going to get. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to just kind of put it in place right there. And I probably have too much ribbon. And again, I hate to waste, but I need to make sure that I have this space open for glue. Because really all the tear tape is doing is it's kind of holding my ribbon in place to make sure that it doesn't get pulled. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. You see how the first row is coming? Now this one is really nice, and I think I can just do that one kind of plain. So I'm just putting my glue right around the outside like that. See, and then what you can do is leave the flowered ones plain because they're already pretty, and then let's decorate these plain ones. So then let's take some of this green and let me go ahead and I like to kind of, if I'm doing knots, I want to do 3 knots of the same color so that there's some uniformity. So there's another green knot there. Again, we're going to go ahead and use our tear tape because this is what's going to hold our ribbon in place right along the edge. as well as our glue in the middle. Like that. If you go to my blog, you can see several of the projects that I've done using different DSPs, and I've done them as gifts. This is where I recommend that this is a great, this is retiring, it's on sale. This is a great thing to have as kind of a little gifty gift, because for any occasion. Okay, I'm just kind of moving that there. And let me just clip these. Okay, and let me add the glue. And I want to make sure I get the glue down to the bottom and all the way up to the top. And so you can begin to see here, let me move out. You can begin to see how pretty the ribbons, and they don't have to be all in the same place. They can all be kind of different. And, we can add a ribbon here. This might have too much flowers, and maybe we need to turn one of these over. We can turn one of these over here like this, and then we can add another ribbon one there. This one, I'm just simply going to kind of glue this carefully right here. I'm going to add that one right there. And what's nice about this glue is that you can kind of move it in place. And then I can kind of add it in the back. I'm going to pull this little box up, and I'm going to make sure that it is adhered to the front of our little drawer. And there's that. This one, I think would look very pretty with, I'm not sure if it would go well with the ribbon or if it would just go plain, because here's something else to think about. Do you remember these? These are retiring, but look how pretty that would look. So let's do that one. So let me go ahead. I'm going to use the tear tape on the back, and I'm going to show you another way we can embellish. We're going to pull this one out. Tear tape is a great adhesive to use for this vellum because it does not show on the front. So I think this one, we're going to have to put this one here. Okay. And then we're just going to adhere that. And then I'm going to put this beautiful flocked vellum. This is part of the poinsettia. And then look at that. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that would be a really pretty embellishment. Now the paper is supposed to go with gold. So another option is to put gold on it. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if we should put gold, or if we should put, I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas? I just kind of want to pull in, and you can kind of see. I mean, do you think that's a nice, you think that's pretty if we went ahead and we did that? For this? Or do you think we should go something with gold? I'm thinking that we should maybe do something with gold, because everything is gold. So what I'm going to do is pull this out. I should have some more. Okay, here. I'm going to pull a big one here. I think that's pretty. We're going to do that. We're going to put that one there. So that's going to be our, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one here. And grab my tear tape. Oh, good. Kelly likes gold. Yeah, I kind of like the gold. I'm so glad you agree. So we're going to do this one as well. Let me pull this one up. We're going to put this one right here. And if it's a little bit off, we can always trim the bottom when we're laying this over. And then I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to put another gold one here. And I'm just kind of making just like a gold, kind of a gold cross with the different sizes. So I've got the big in the middle, and then I have like a little cruciform shape there. And then that's going to go, on this one. It's going to go right there. Now, what I want to do this ribbon here is in the annual catalog. This is gold ribbon. So now that I've done those two, I can take something like this, or let's see. I'm going to put maybe something like this, and we're going to grab this, and we're going to tie a knot. Let me just clip Put that like that. Again, we're just going to tie a knot right here. I'm going to kind of hold these ends. Okay, I'm going to kind of hold the ends like that. So I have my knot. And then I'm going to cut this back here. And if I need to kind of even them up and kind of pull them together and even them up like that. So now look at this. We're going to, and then what I like to do on these is I kind of want to organize it so that I can get this to kind of go on one side. I kind of pull it until I get it to go on the side that I want it to go on, like that. And then again, I'm going to use my tear tape. I'm going to use my tear tape, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this here. Okay, because remember, this is the one, you need your tear tape when you're doing your ribbon. You need your tear tape to hold your ribbon down so it doesn't fall off. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to kind of position it. I'm going to turn this around. We're going to position it where we want it to go, like that. Let's see, I'm just going to keep turning. I'm going to turn it around till I get the effect I want. I'm just going to kind of tug. See, I'm going to kind of tug at it till I get what I want. And then I'm going to pinch it here in the middle. And then I'm just going to kind of roll that around like that. There we go. I'm going to flip this around again. We're just going to cut enough so that I can put some glue on the back. And you can even run the glue, a little bit over your ribbon too. And then we're just going to put this one here. And then, I mean, look at how you begin. Look at how you can begin to kind of add. You see the glimmer? We're starting to add some color. So you can move something like this up here, right? And then we can move something down here, and you can start spreading your glimmer and your color around. Now we can go ahead and use this one with the green. And that's kind of what I do is I kind of come up with a formula. And that formula is that I take the pieces of cardstock that I want, the front, and that I can use for the back, right? I cut that 2 by 2, and then I lay them out, and I kind of, okay, so there's this one here. We're going to just put that one, I'm going to make sure I got the prettiest side. The prettiest side of the knot is the knot that I want showing. So if I got to kind of play with it a little bit, that's what I do to kind of play with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my tear tape. But I kind of, pick the color, DSP, then pick one accent color, right? Pick an accent color. And use that for your box. And there's another trick I'm going to show you here in a minute that will add some more fun to this. Let me put this one on. Here, so I'm taking this off, and I'm going to add And I'm adding this on to the prettiest side, and I'm kind of turning it in so you can see. I'm going to kind of pinch it where I want it. And then I'm just going to wrap these around like that. Okay, there it is. Make sure it's as tight as I want them to be. I'm just going to cut this long piece off here. And then I'm going to use my all-purpose glue. I'm going to add some, I've added some on top of the ribbon so I can capture it. Let me pull out my little box here. I'm just going to lay that on and just press. Now let's say we have something like this. Okay, we're going to put this, let me open it up so you can see how pretty, how this is kind of, we need one more here, and you can kind of begin to balance, or maybe this one goes over here to this side. See that? You can kind of balance, can begin to balance your colors. But what I was going to recommend is now we take this one that has, I use the curvy curves, right? I use the curvy curves to cut that one. Okay, so let's do something. Let's grab a embossing folder and let's emboss this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I ran it through the embossing folder, and then look at this. You can put this on here just like that, and I just want you to see, you come in, and you can kind of see the texture. You see the texture that you can have just like that, or you can add, and I'm going to add this right down here, and look how pretty that is. So that's another option that you have as you put this together, this mosaic, is that you can use the curvy dies to kind of give your boxes a shape. I'm going to put that one right there. Or you can use your embossing folders to kind of give it some neat texture. Use your ribbon. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that just pretty? I think that is just, look at that. You can kind of see the texture. Okay, so we've done one of those. We've done one of these. This one's got a little flap here. I got to take care of this little flap. We can't have a little flap. Done one of those. Now before I get into decorating these, let me push out. And this is my formula, right? I want to have at least 3. I want to have at least 3 of these. Okay, so you want to do like 3s. So I'm going to put the ribbon here. I want to have at least 3 of these, and I'm missing one. So I might want to find one that I want to turn over. Okay, I might want to turn this one over. You see how that kind of begins to balance? See how it kind of makes you kind of balance? You got these 3, you got these 3. We're going to do the terracotta tile ribbon there, and then I'm going to pick I think I'm going to put we can put, let's see. And then I just kind of wing it. I mean, from here on in, I'm kind of winging it. So I'm just going to put a couple of little things right there like that. Isn't that pretty? Just to kind of decorate a little bit. See, that's kind of nice. So I'm going to finish decorating this, and I'm going to go ahead and finish putting on the ribbon. I'm going to add some more of this gold ribbon here, and I'm going to add that on my on some of these flowered ones, because I think the flowered ones need the sparkle, the glimmer from the gold ribbon. I'm going to add the green ribbon onto these here, and then I'm going to add the terracotta tile to the yellow, and then I will bring this back and publish it on my blog, because it's already 7 o'clock. So I've taken the hour, but I hope this gives you an idea of how you can put this together. Let me come back. I hope that gives you an idea of how you can use this box to put together a really fun project that can be used for all occasions, and just for stuff. I mean, I kind of liked it as a little jewelry trinket box. I have lots of little things that can go hidden away, especially for a grandchild or for a niece. And you can also masculine it up if you have a nephew or a grandson that has little toy soldiers or little toy doodads that he needs to put in a safe hiding place. So thank you so much for joining me. I wish you good, happy holidays. Please leave comments. Please like and share. And check my blog at stampartconnection.com, where I have other projects just like these that I put together. I will feature this one as well. I finished one using the Pampered Pets. That will go on the blog. And consider this as something to purchase to kind of have in your stash for something, since it is a retiring item. So thank you so much.